Hey, and welcome back to another wonderful day here at MSA. So glad to see you and glad you're here. You know, we're going to hit this one up pretty quick. We're not going to lollygag around on this issue. They just impeached Alejandro Mayorkas. What a beautiful day today is. You know, you got the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas. You got Tony Bobulinski going in front of the Oversight Committee, spilling the truth out there about what actually went down with Joe Biden and his son Hunter and all their wonderful plans on doing whatever they did, which we'll get into another day. Today, we're going to talk about Mr. Mayorkas. You know, recently we just did a video about what he's been up to. You know, he was a part of HIAS and all this, and if you don't know what that is, it's a Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. They've been around since 1881. Their sole job is to help people search and reach asylum in America. And this has been going on for a long time. They're worldwide. It's their big mission to do this. Alejandro Mayorkas was on the board of directors with that company. He left. They're funded by your federal government. He was on that board. And he left there, went and worked with the Obama administration, and bam, became the Secretary of Homeland Security. And we all know what's been going on since that's happened, right? The floodgates opened up. Our border's getting just hammered by people. And every time you turned around for the longest time, our border's secure, our border's secure, our border's secure. And when he would go in front of these committees and he'd get questioned, you know, and you'd get people just hammering on him, and he'd, you know, if I could just answer the question correctly, he wouldn't try to answer a question. He would filibuster. He'd just sit there and just spout off these big, long speeches about how they do this and how they do that. And you know, part of this program that he was a part of called CISA, which is going to be another big story that we're going to do, because CISA is not working in your favor, trust me. But we'll get into that again another time. Trust me. That's all cyber stuff. Now, this impeachment. So, went in front of Congress. Congress voted 213 to 214. The yeas have it. Alejandro Mayorkas is impeached. Beautiful. Wonderful. The guy's worthless. Doesn't do his job. Doesn't do his job. I mean, I literally could take a 17-year-old kid and put him in charge and say, you know what? Make sure people don't come across this border that are not supposed to come across this border. And if the people are seeking asylum, they need to go over there and check in with these people over here. And they need to get put on a list. And if they make it through, then they come through. But don't let anybody just walk in. And I'll bet you it would happen. When you get these bureaucratic blowhards that are in there, like Mayorkas, who's he's got his own green card. He came here as the real way that you're supposed to come in. He's actually was born in Cuba. When you look at the way the things play out now, we got this impeachment. Great. What does that mean? Well, normally in any other job, you'd get fired, pack up your stuff, and you go. Nope. Now we got to go in front of the Senate. And we all know what's going to happen. You're going to get Chuck Schumer up there with his big, long 14-month speeches on how this is just a farce and all this stuff. Because the guy's as blind can be. He has no idea what actually real life is. He's been stuck in that job for so long that the world is the way he makes it up. Okay, everything's right in his eyes that the Democratic Party does, no matter what. Joe Biden's beautiful and all this kind of stuff. And Chuck Schumer could stand outside, you know, of where the SCOTUS is, you know, the Supreme Court of the United States, and talk smack about the justices that are in there, and nothing happens to him. But hey, you know, if other people just say one thing out of line, boy, they are blasted. Let's get them removed. And they, you know, they're, what are they? They're not for democracy. Biggest lie on the planet. Anyway, we're going to roll a little clip. As you can see, some of the stuff I'm talking about right now, it's coming right up top of my head just because of the fact that this kind of stuff gets under my skin. We have done multiple things on the border. We've done a thing on Mayorkas himself, aiding people from China coming up using your tax dollars. That's fact, using your tax dollars to help get them from Panama all the way up into the border and right inside into the United States by the tens of thousands. And that's your tax dollars at work. And that's not a lie, because if Michael Yon that we had on our last segment about that, Michael Yon starts naming out people by names. He can tell you what's going on, who's seen it, who's a part of it, the whole shebang. And this is what he does for a living. He's an investigative journalist. ex-Green Beret. So he's a pretty cool dude. Anyway, we're going to roll this clip. Let you check out what these two reporters are talking about after this vote. And there's a key. There's a real key in this clip. It's real short, so just hang in there. We'll be right back.
By the Speaker of the House. Now Mike Johnson has the votes. They have just impeached Alejandro Mayorkas. Now the action is over to the Senate in a matter of a few days or weeks. There.
So, Manu, let me just ask you, though, as you lay this out, it goes over to the Senate, the articles, and obviously people may remember when this happened with President Trump, right? There was a group who walked the articles over. There's a process. They walk over. Now, if they are dismissed, as you're saying it is virtually certain that they will be, I understand there's a time frame that would happen under. But then what does that mean for the House? If they're just outright dismissed by the Senate, can you walk through whether there's hearings or not, or what the House is going to be doing with its time?
It's over, Aaron. Once they're done, once the Senate acts, it is done. And in order to convict, of course, you need 2/3 majority to do that. And there's absolutely no chance that would happen in the Senate, given that there's no Democrats who supported this in the House, are not going to be expecting any Democrats to support this in the Senate. And a lot of Democrats simply say this is a complete waste of time, given the real concerns and issues and policy changes that both parties say are needed at the southern border with Mexico. But still, this is something that shows how Republicans view the border issue playing in this campaign season. Even vulnerable Republicans in the House, people who represent districts that Joe Biden won, all essentially voting to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas here, recognizing they believe that this issue has potency with their voters. So, Aaron, they're moving ahead here, as we saw on the floor. But you're right, the Senate's going to kill this when they get back into session in a couple of weeks.
Not past the floor. Won't make it through the Senate. The votes won't be there. What are we talking about? Is this America? Is that what we're talking about? The American United States that I was born in, raised, land of the free, home of the brave, barbecues, apple pie, all that wonderful stuff, 4x4 trucks, dirt biking, bikinis, what? Where are we talking about? Because how can you have someone that has blatantly destroyed our border, letting people come in by the millions, and I mean millions, and not only destroyed our border. When you look at the Constitution, how it says that we have to, protect our borders, it's president's job, it's to protect the states and all these kinds of things. When you look at that, do you ever think when the forefathers wrote this, our founding fathers, do you think when they wrote it, they actually thought that some dude would show up someday and just kick the gate open and then block, they're using our border agents as ticket checkers. Oh, you got your app. Oh, okay. Yeah, your court date's coming soon. All right, go on. Oh, no, you need to step over here and they'll get you processed through and all this other kind of stuff. Oh, did you need a sandwich? Or you got to have your laundry done? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you look a little parched. Would you like some water? It's probably been a long walk for you. It's still going to be a long walk over to the bus that's going to take you to the plane that's going to show you any city that you want to go to. Okay. Do you think our founding fathers ever thought that some guy would come along like this and do this? And now we got a Senate. What gets me is, let's start with Congress. Congress comes off and says, oh, there's nothing wrong here. Oh, you Republicans are the ones holding up the process. Republicans aren't holding up nothing. Republicans gave H.R. 2 in a long time ago. It was last year when they gave it to Chuck Schumer, and Chuck Schumer's sitting on it. Okay? So why isn't everyone blowing up his office's phones, demanding an answer, and sending in every kind of email? Now, notice I said blowing up the phone, because violence is never an answer on anything, right? We don't do that. Violent only shows how weak you truly are. You want power, you use this right here. This is your power, okay? Not by calling names, not by being rude. Educate yourself. Speak. Say what you need to say. If this affects your family, you don't have to be an educated person to do this. Okay, you can say, hey, this is hurting our country. I'm a concerned citizen. Let's put it into context real quick, okay? People say, well, I'm only one person. Okay, great. I want to take a look at something in a really real sense. And when I say this to you, hopefully it'll hit home and you'll understand what I mean. Okay. What is a Holocaust? Okay. They talk about the Holocaust that happened during World War II to the Jewish people. Sad. Okay. Very sad, honestly. And they say there was over 8 million people killed. Okay. They actually say it was only 6 million, but they know it was over 8. They can only account for 6 million people that were killed. Now, realistically, you can't fathom in your mind what 6 million of anything is, because none of us have ever seen 6 million of anything. 6 million what? I mean, that is such a big number. We can't comprehend it. So is that a Holocaust that 6 million people lost their lives? Kind of. The Holocaust is that it was one by one by one by one that equaled 6 million. That is what made it a Holocaust. That is a more real way to look at it. That means that your voice, one by one, contacting people and letting them know if you're for this impeachment, help them make it stick. Those senators work for you. Those senators come out of your town, your home state, wherever you're from. Every senator that we have that's going to go vote on this within the next 2 weeks. I don't understand why it takes so long, but it seems like this government can't do anything in any amount of time to save its life. But, real quick, you need to have your voice heard. Call their offices. Let them know how you feel. Let them know. Call who, I mean, look, if we don't start making our voices heard, all these folks that get up and do their thing, they just keep doing it. Adam Schiff's one of the biggest liars I've ever seen in my life. Okay? Lies about everything, and he'll lie right to the camera like he's telling the truth when he knows he's not telling the truth because he's talking to a camera. Like I am right now. I'm not talking to a human being. But if I was, I'd be saying the same thing. Trust me, Schiff doesn't. You ever watch that little recording that they had of Adam Schiff out in the airport? And the guy confronts him, starts talking to him. He's, oh, yeah. Either way, this is the first step in a beautiful process to get rid of Alejandro Mayorkas. This is his life mission. Do me a favor, go back to our channel, watch the video that is about Mayorkas bringing in the Chinese. Just do that real quick, watch that, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's not just opening the border. There's a bigger plan at work here, a lot bigger. And when he said a while ago in a committee hearing that no matter what they do, he's going to continue on with his work, he's talking about getting more and more people into this country. That is exactly what he's talking about. That is his life's work. So please help us, help you, help ourselves so we all can get this country back in order. Okay? This isn't a win or lose Republican Democrat thing anymore. This is helping get our world here in America back in order. We have children here. We have young people. We got babies being born every day. You want a baby to grow up into some of this mess? I'm not saying illegals are bad people, but there are a lot of bad people that have come over with the illegals. You got to agree with that. Look at the crime stats. Pretty quick here, we're going to start doing it once a day. We're going to do a little thing called crimes of all 50 states. And we're going to do one state a day for 50 days. That way we can understand if this is a real thing or not. Because we can't believe the media, right? You can't. Can you believe me? You should. Because if you fact check me and I got it wrong, I'll come back and make it right. I promise you. And I know I don't have a big audience right now, but with your help, I could. So, like, share, and subscribe. Really need your help on that. Got to help this channel grow. The algorithms are not getting out there. There's a reason for that. And it's a few things that I said. I noticed the video started going way down real quick when I was talking about some of the things that get touchy. You know, when you mention Joe Biden too much, they don't like it anymore. But anyway, you all have a great night, great day, wherever you're at. You come on back, and we're going to have a lot more videos for you in the future. So there's going to be a lot of heated stuff because we still got to cover, you know, Tony Bobolinsky. Yeah, we got to cover all kinds of wonderful things. And we are definitely going to come back a little bit more on this Mayorkas thing because we're going to try to blow it up out of the water. It is not just open border. There's more to this than that. Okay? So, like, share, and subscribe. We love each and every one of you. Have a great day or night wherever you're at. We'll see you soon. Take care.